Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to round 2 of our MotoGP 2013 season review. And yes, before you question the footage, MotoGP 10 and 11 doesn't have the Circuit of the Americas in it, as you probably would have guessed given the year of the game's release. So this is Indianapolis gameplay, deal with it. Anywho, an amazing moment in MotoGP just took place yesterday. Marc Marquez became the youngest man to ever qualify in pole position during a race. Today, he became the youngest man to ever win a MotoGP Grand Prix. The youngest winner in the history of the sport, just 20 years old, and just 20 years old, 2 months and a couple of days. Marc Marquez beat a record that stood for over 30 years when Freddie Spencer won all those years ago, I think it was. But Marc Marquez takes the American Grand Prix, well, the Grand Prix of the Americas, they're calling it, because there's 3 American tracks on the calendar this year, which is quite irritating. I might talk about that in a future episode or something. But yeah, Marc Marquez wins. It was a great battle between him and Dani Pedrosa, who came in second. It was Repsol Honda 1 and 2, and they dominated the race. Jorge Lorenzo fell back early on from his third place and pretty much just said, okay guys, I'm going to leave you to it, well, I'll steal this third place and rack up another 16 points in the world title race. But with about 9 laps to go, Marquez put a sweet move into the first sector of the winding part of the track, and he held on. He made the better choice of tyres. He was on the harder of the 2 compound rear tyres and made the most of it and would come through and win. Then, like I said, Dani Pedrosa in second. Jorge Lorenzo rounded off the podium in third. Another very solid ride for Cal Crutchlow puts him in 4th place ahead of Stefan Bradl, who had a cracking start. Got up from 4th to 2nd, but was quickly dumped back by Lorenzo and Marquez before eventually riding his own race in 5th ahead of Valentino Rossi, who looked largely unimpressive and quiet in 6th place. He broke ahead of the pack of Andrea Dovizioso and Alvaro Bautista, who battled all the way to the line, but he was in his own race. Dovi 7th for Ducati, a solid ride from him ahead of 8th place Alvaro Bautista. Nicky Hayden in 9th. Andrea Iannone rounding off the top 10. And get this, the CRT man Alex Espargaro once again beating higher ranked bikes. He's doing a tremendous job on the CRT Aspar ART bike, and 11th place is a fantastic result and 5 very well earned points, beating the man on the Tech 3 Yamaha Bradley Smith and Ben Spies on the Pramac bike. So a tremendous performance from Espargaro there. Like I said, Bradley Smith 12th, Ben Spies 13th, Randy DePunier 14th, and Yoni Hernandez getting the last of the points for Paul Bird Motorsport in 15th place, ahead of Michael Laverty, Hiroshi Ayama. Hector Barbera down in 18th, a poor result for him. Claudio Corti 19th, ahead of Brian Starrin in 20th and Blake Young in 21st. 3 non-finishers, Danilo Petrucci, Lucas Pezek, and Paul Colin Edwards, who could not finish his home Grand Prix, which would have been real sad because he's a Texas man. He lives just around the corner, sadly. With that means also that Marc Marquez is now joint first in the World Championship standings, along with Jorge Lorenzo, with identical records after the first 2 races, 1 win and 1 third place. Quick talk about the Moto2 race. Nicholas Tirol winning that one ahead of Esteve Rabat and Mika Kallio, who was almost identical over the line in 2nd and 3rd. Something you'll know about the lower classes if you ever watched them. There's always one battle that is almost decided by a photo finish. It's a given almost every weekend. But Rabat just narrowly beating former top class man Mika Kallio in 3rd, Dominic Aigurta in 4th, and Great Britain's own Scott Redding in 5th. Good result for him. And in Moto 3, Alex Rins wins a interrupted 1-2 Moto 3 Grand Prix race ahead of Maverick Vinales and Luis Salom and Jonas Volga in 4th. The top 4 separated by just 1.2 seconds. So yeah, MotoGP takes a couple of weeks out, and then we'll be back at Jerez, one of the staple tracks of the season. And the first of 3 technically Spanish Grand Prix you'll see on the calendar, even though Catalonia doesn't really count because it's Catalan and I'll do geography. But let me know what you guys thought of the race. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. As you can see, Marc Marquez, I think personally, is going to be a massive star, and to be this good at age 20. He might be the most naturally gifted rider I've ever seen. If anyone's ever listened to the Eurosport coverage and they listen to Julian Ryder, when Julian Ryder comes out and says he's riding so well that they don't miss Casey Stoner, a two-time world champion, one of the best to ever grace the sport, that is a very, very bold and strong statement. I think this kid could be a real star in the making. And a couple of people have asked me, is he a world title contender? Could very well be. Let me know what you think. But a historic day in MotoGP history, especially for one young Marc Marquez. I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.